going on, guys? It's Bengt. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're talking about a teenager's journey on self-improvement, some things that you might want to be mindful of, some things to remember, and kind of just, I'm going to go through some highlights or like talking points from conversations that I've had with friends of mine who are younger, that have just asked questions or like have said certain things, and I want to kind of touch on that too. So first of all, I would say this. If you're a teenager and you're focused on self-improvement, if you're watching content like this, if you're watching other people on YouTube that are, at places where you want to be in life and, consuming this type of content that is ultimately going to drive you to become a better version of yourself, if you're focused on things like health and fitness, on education, on finances, just basically being literate at life, you know what I mean? Especially as a man, if that's something that you're interested in, if that's something that you're delving into, in your teen years, first of all, I can't tell you how blessed you are. When I was 14, 15, 16, 17, like, bro, I didn't really start my self-improvement journey till I was like 18 or 19. So if you're at that age too, or if you're like younger than that, just know that like you're super blessed because you've got some of the best resources out there than any other generation has ever had, as far as like, role models and guys that are just kind of taking it upon themselves to share good information and kind of lead the way and lay out like a path or a roadmap for you younger guys that are out there trying to get to it. Now, when I was like 18 or 19, I kind of like needed that role model, but it wasn't like, YouTube was still popping, but it wasn't like, self-improvement wasn't really like a popular thing to talk about at that time. It was kind of in like, for me at least, it was like the YouTube gaming era, you know what I mean? That's what was popping on YouTube in my days. It was like MW2 and shit like that. I don't know. Like, I was in like the FaZe Clan era of YouTube when that shit was fucking everything. Anyways, besides the point. But basically, like, understand that if you're that young, if you're 14, 15, 16, even like 19 or 20, and you're on self-improvement and you're watching these types of videos, you're so far ahead of the game, and understand that time is on your side. The biggest thing that I've seen when talking to like younger dudes is they are just like me, in the sense that, like, if you had asked me as a junior or senior in high school what I was going to do, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire in like 5 or 6 years. Well, it's 5 or 6 years later and I'm not a millionaire yet, and I've done a lot of great things and I've accomplished some things with my life, but at the same time, I'm nowhere close to being a millionaire. You know what I mean? So that crazy, like, audacious bravado and ambition, and that feeling of like, yeah, I'm just gonna fuck the world, like, I understand what it's like to have that. However, you also need to be patient and realize that good things take time. I remember when I was in high school, I was super, super impatient. I was ready to just like get out and get into life. And I had this like unquenchable thirst to just like go and do shit and like be productive and like make things. And I channeled a lot of that energy into stuff that, some of it has served me to this day, and some of it was like not as important as maybe I thought it was going to be at the time. But the biggest thing that I see with younger dudes is like, they're super ambitious. They've got all the energy and all of the grit and the desire and the work ethic to go out and do something. But I'm afraid that a lot of them don't have the patience to accommodate that. And they're going to end up doing what I did, which is like basically go crazy for a couple of years and then burn out, and then have to reevaluate your entire life and like refocus yourself and your energy and recollect and find a new direction in life. And that's challenging to do. So for those of you guys that are, raring to go and ready to get on with things, keep that energy, keep that enthusiasm, keep that hunger, but also be patient and realize that, life takes time. And also, a lot of people, if you're 19 and you're trying to start a business and do all this stuff, kudos to you, man. Do it. Don't quit. Don't stop. Don't, just let other people kind of talk you out of it or whatever. But understand that you're not going to be taken very seriously. I started a business at 23 and still was not taken seriously by some adults or by some people. Now, Now, you really have to prove and establish yourself, and then at that point, you're in the game. But be prepared to kind of have the world think that it has something on you just because you're young. Very common, not misconception, but it's a very common thing, and I see it all the time, and I still feel to this day I'm 24, and maybe there's people out there that I know there's people out there that have lived far more life and had way more experience and are probably more knowledgeable and smarter than I am. But still, I think in certain situations, I've spent enough hours doing stuff to have something to say that's valid, you know what I mean? And I feel like definitely for the younger version of me, not being heard, not being taken seriously was a big thing. Now, so much it doesn't matter, but I definitely remember in my younger years in high school, I definitely felt like I had something to prove, and not being listened to or taken seriously was like a fucking trigger for me. So for you younger guys out there, understand that's something you might be going up against, but don't take it too seriously. Don't let it deter you from doing what you actually want, because eventually, with enough results, with enough track record, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, you know what I mean? People are forced to kind of look at what you've done and take that seriously. So focus on results. That's what I would say. So yeah, patience, results, and understand that you're ahead of the curve. You've got plenty of time. Time is on your side. Like if you're 16, 18, 19, I would do anything. I'm only 24, yo. I'm only 24, and I would do anything to go back to be 19 years old again. So just understand that, by watching this type of stuff, by thinking about these kinds of things, you're so far ahead of the game. And one thing that really clicked for me that was a really interesting thought was this. If you go, and honestly, it's changed now, because if you look at guys like Hamza or Iman Gaji, people like that, they've got millions of subscribers. It's starting to become the cool thing to be on self-improvement, to be an entrepreneur, all this stuff, which is honestly a good thing in my opinion. I think it's great. To not be on self-improvement is not cool, you know what I mean? Why would you not want to be the best version of yourself? And maybe there's a little bit of toxicity in it, but at the same time, who gives a fuck? We're all out here trying to just hustle and become better people. So I think ultimately the fact that it's become a cultural thing, kind of a cool thing to do, is really dope. Now, like I was saying though, back in when I first started with my journey, it was hard to find that kind of content, and the guys that were making it didn't have a lot of subscribers, you know what I mean? There was a couple dudes with 10K, 100K maybe, but a lot of underground shit. Nowadays, you look at guys that have 2 million subscribers talking about self-improvement and stuff like that, which is amazing. It's awesome. But understand that, bro, just because he has 2 million subscribers doesn't mean that people that are watching that content that person's making are acting on it. You know what I mean? This is something that has truthfully awakened me. Now, not to be toxic or overly competitive, or that I think that comparing yourself to other people is a good trait or a good thing to do. It's not, you know what I mean? Everybody's on their own path. Everyone's on their own timeline. Everyone has their own purpose to fulfill here, you know what I mean? So it's not to shit on other people. It's only to acknowledge the progress that you've made for yourself. But if you're a young guy, it is very, very easy for you to get swept up in the crowd. I feel like the distractions, the parties, the girls and drugs and shit like that, it's so much more tempting, because the allure of it, everyone's doing it, you still kind of you're in school, so maybe you want to get that, feeling of being free. I understand completely. I totally get it. I was there one day, you know what I mean? It wasn't that long ago that I was on the same fucking, chapter of life that you are on right now, if you're watching this and you're, in high school or whatever. But you'll quickly learn that stuff is kind of overrated. It's not really worth that much. And as you grow older and you start to look around at the people around you and the people that continue to do those things and kind of live that college person lifestyle, bro, most of them never really do much that's worth talking about. Again, not to shit on other people or judge them and compare your life to theirs. It's not healthy to do, but I'm just saying if self-improvement, if becoming the best version of yourself is something you're truly committed to, and you're young, understand that when you take a look around you, understand like most of those people are not even thinking about how can I get better? How can I make more money? How can I be the best version of myself? How can I become a better man? How can I, you know what I mean? Elevate in life. The people around you are thinking about their homework and like what school they're gonna go to, what useless degree are they gonna get? You know what I mean? So if you're a younger kid and you're on self-improvement, just understand that you're ahead of the game, man. And look around at your surroundings and know that the people around you aren't on that. You know what I mean? And that you're truthfully setting yourself up to succeed, truthfully setting yourself up to win. And don't let that discourage you, or don't let that get away from you. Don't let that realization that it's the right thing to do, even if other people aren't doing it, and even if you're not receiving that feedback of results yet, keep going, because you will ultimately thank yourself for doing so later on in life. So that's my little message to you guys. I hope you're all having a blessed day. If you made it to the end of the video, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Drop a like, comment what videos you want to see next, subscribe if you liked it, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a blessed day, all right? Deuces.